Hi, Amber and Jillian. Thanks for joining today. We'll wait just one more minute to see if we have any others popping in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you so much for joining. This. So what I want to do, I'm going to first play you just a 3-minute short little video slideshow of some pictures from our previous study abroad sessions in Peru. Just because I think you can get a lot more from seeing actual students in Peru than from me just talking. And then I will show you, I have a few slides, I'll go over some of the basics of the program. And then I'm available for questions or anything that you want to talk about related to the program. I'll also put my email in the chat room. If you want to contact me directly, I'm happy to talk to you. We can set up another time as well. Okay, so let's see here. now, here we go. So I just have a few short slides here to kind of give you an overview of the Food, Health, and Identity in Peru program, and then we can talk about questions that you might have. So this is going to be a pre-fall global intensive experience program. So it's set to run the first, just almost a couple weeks before classes start in the fall, in August. And then there will be some work that will be submitted after we get back from Peru, a written reflection and a research paper that you'll have time to complete during session A, so that you're not trying to write all that up while you're in the country, so that we can use all our time there to learn as much as possible and do these hands-on activities. The program is worth 6 credits, and the locations that we'll visit include Lima, which is the capital city of Peru on the coast, Cusco, the capital city of the Incas, the Sacred Valley, which is the area surrounding Cusco, and then Machu Picchu. And we'll be staying primarily in in hotels, sorry, and possibly a community homestay. So the topic of the program, the main focus is the importance of food to identity and to health and well-being. So some of the questions that we'll look at are, how do perspectives of health and well-being differ across cultures? How is cuisine shaped by local environments and social processes? And how are dietary practices used in the formation of different identities, social identities at different scales and different ways that they intersect, gender, age, social groups, and so on. So food is something that we take for granted a lot of times, and its role in our lives and how it shapes how we think about ourselves and about others, and about being healthy, what it means to be healthy. And these are really fascinating topics, things that I'm really interested in my own research in Peru. And it's a lot of fun to be able to share this with students and with the Peruvians that we work with while we're there. So just a few of the main course topics, things that we'll be talking about in the country are food and body concepts in ancient Peru, and how these differ, of course, from our own concepts, but also from other concepts in Peru today. We'll be talking a lot about fishing and fishing as a livelihood. We'll talk about colonial impacts on foodways and identities with the arrival of the Spanish into Peru. And then also how food is used to form social bonds. We'll also talk about coca and cultural identity. Coca is a plant that has a very important philosophical, religious, cultural meanings in Peru, and it's a very important part of local cultures. And then we'll also talk about food heritage and appropriation, how food heritage has been appropriated in different ways, such as for political purposes, for example. Just some program highlights. We'll be staying in, as I mentioned, in Lima and Cusco cities, and then we'll also stay in the rural areas of the Sacred Valley, and with some more localized communities. There will be tours of archaeological sites, including Machu Picchu. There's a fishing boat tour, which is always a big hit. We'll get to ride on real fishing boats and catch our own little fish, and talk to fishermen who make fishing as their livelihoods. We'll also visit agricultural communities and get to experience their way of life, and also have some cooking lessons in those communities. We'll visit a community-run salt mine near Cusco, and then also explore food markets in the cities. So the coursework entails some pre-departure background materials and training that we'll do before we leave so that we can maximize our time in the country. You'll also, a large portion of your grade is just participating, of course, in all of these different group hands-on activities that we have arranged, and to take really, we'll really emphasize how to take some professional type field notes so that you're really recording the data, recording what you learn to use in your other coursework, including your research paper, which you'll, as I mentioned, you'll work on when you get back. We'll have regular group discussions and critical thinking exercises while we're in the country. And then you'll also be sort of developing a research question and starting to collect some data while you're in Peru, and then you'll complete that and a written reflection back in once we're back home. Funding is something that students, of course, are always asking about. So I encourage you to check out the Study Abroad office. Always has some really excellent workshops on different topics related to funding. Since this is a fall program, financial aid should you should be able to apply that to the cost of the program. And also be sure to check out the Study Abroad office scholarships and grants database. And we also, in our department, the School of Human Evolution and Social Change, we have some scholarships that are available. And those can be, there's just a really short application on the SHESC website at shesc.asu.edu/abroad. Okay, so if you have questions that you'd like to ask me now, I welcome you to ask them. I'm also going to put in the chat room here the web brochure for the program if you haven't seen that yet. There's also on the web brochure, you can sign up to receive email updates about the program. We'll let you know, for instance, when program applications open. And then I also welcome you to contact me at any time. I'm happy to meet with you one-on-one to talk about the program or any questions. And here is my email address. So with that, are there any questions that you'd like to talk about now? Okay, Jillian asks, what's the weather like during the course of the trip? It is mild, I would say, is the best way to describe it, but also it can vary quite a bit during the day and our location. So when we're in Lima, the first couple of days, it's on the coast. So we have the coastal weather. I always recommend students, one of the most important things to bring is a winter jacket because it is winter down there. Especially for those of us in Arizona, it can feel quite chilly, but it never gets down below, I would say, the 50s. But that really moist ocean air can be chilly in Lima. And then the nights in Cusco also get quite chilly. So it's important to bring warm pajamas, but all the hotels have heat. And during the day when the sun comes out, it's really nice and warm. But it does vary a lot during the day. Okay, and Amber is wondering about the minimum amount of people needed for the trip. That is a good question. So It varies year to year. I think the minimum for right now that we set is about 10 students. So and I believe our maximum is 15. All right. Were there any other final questions that you have? Oh, here we go. Amber, yes, COVID, of course, is obviously factoring into this trip. How certain are you that it will happen? Are all students going to be vaccinated before going? Um, we are not certain that it will happen. We'll probably be making the decision soon in the coming weeks. Yes, it is hard to judge. There's just, we're being really, our primary concern is student safety and health. And so we've been planning the trip with all of ASU's COVID um, requirements in place. So I don't know about required vaccinations. Obviously, we would encourage that. I haven't heard yet if that will be required. But we will, if you sign up for our email list, we'll keep you updated to let you know if we decide to open applications, if we decide to run the program. And hopefully we'll be, deciding to open applications soon. And then if we do that, the decisions will be made further down the line as we keep monitoring the situation. It probably sounds like everything is always tentative at this point, right? But we're, yes, crossing our fingers and just doing the best we can. And if it doesn't happen, we will keep trying for next year. So. All right, what date will we know if we have enough people signed up? This is also that depends on when we are able to open applications. We'll probably it might be later than March, but we just don't know yet. Since it's a fall program, we might be able to push it back a bit more. But again, things are tentative at this point. So if we aren't able to run the program, I encourage you to keep it in mind for next year. And also, if you need, as things are constantly changing, if programs don't run, be sure to check in with, for example, our School of Human Evolution and Social Change advisors. Usually, I think they're working on or aware of the opportunities that folks are working on, faculty are working on regarding local sort of global health kind of experiences and virtual types of opportunities. So just kind of stay tuned. All right, were there any other questions? I'll wait just one more minute in case anyone's typing. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I'm glad you liked the video, and please don't hesitate to be in touch. We can always do an individual Zoom sessions or phone calls. So I would love to have you join us in Peru, and yes, fingers crossed that it will work out. But if not, hopefully next year. So take care and stay well. Bye.